It's 2 o'clock.
Always know this. A happy family is but an earlier heaven. George Bernard Shaw.
Inspiration. 92.3 FM.
Welcome to Soni Irabor Live. Yes, in the course of the half-hour program we had a moment ago, I hinted you that we will be having the usual, as I call them usual, because they've been here every year now for a few years, yes? Parah Family Foundation. To me, I think they are experts at getting women to become self-reliant in the possibility of producing children, of course, with the cooperation of the husband, you know. It can never be any other way. God is so faithful. But you see, we have good stories to tell when people who have had relationship with Parah who come here and say, we are happy, we thank God. There was one family that I think theirs was about 13 or 14 years with no, child. And then they went to Parah, and well, thanks to God, with all the tutelage, all the, stories, and telling them the way to go, how best to handle themselves, and things like that, they have a good story to tell. They had a good story to tell, and they're still having good stories. And more people are coming in to say such things. But today, I have them, and I'll be introducing them very shortly. But let me just remind you that we have our usual Zoom, and I think some people were trying to join us. And very soon, please feel free to start joining us, because we'll admit you, and you'll be able to partake in this program. Yeah, Parah Family Foundation. Now, there are people who usually are my regular customers. Mrs. Adejumoke Airoyo. She's the President Board of Trustees of Parah Family Foundation. Princess Dayo Odukoya. Princess Mrs. Dayo Odukoya, Visionary, Parah Family Foundation. Mrs. Isioma Success Olugbenga, Member, Board of Trustees. And Mr. Yemi Ajide. Is it Ajide? Okay. Member, Parah Family Foundation. Okay. So, they're here with us in the studio, and I'm always very glad to have full participation from them. There are 4 of them in the studio today. And we'll go talk grammar. Well, there's only one man. By the way, happy Father's Day. Since you are the only man here. The women, they're always having Mother's Day, having Mother's Day. Today, our Father's Day, Joe, begging.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
We celebrate you, sir.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Except that you are blessed amongst women. Yes. Okay, so, right. Let me just call Mrs. Adejumoke Airoyo. Let us know. You are the president of the Board of Trustees of Parah Family Foundation. What's the news story so far? in the last 365 days.
Thank you for having us, Uncle Soni. As I popularly call you, you have been a blessing to us, and the Lord will bless you the more in Jesus' name.
Amen. We thank Inspiration FM.
Yes, thank Inspiration FM.
Yes.
The story has been so marvelous. A lot of testimony trailing Parah Family Foundation. And we are particularly delighted that one of the success stories is here in the studio with us today. About this time 2 years ago, he heard from Inspiration, yes, FM, and the Lord Almighty, 4 years ago, he heard the story from the same station, and he decided to do something about it. And today, he's a proud father of twins.
He didn't even start slow. Just
one of the reasons why we are celebrating him more and more and more.
Fantastic. Okay.
So many more testimonies of people that the Lord had favored. From last year when we had our conference last year to this time, we have families, that have waited for 25 years, and the Lord had decided to remember them. We have so many stories of people that have decided to, help God, help themselves by going the God's way and then trying to find out what to do to actually make their dream come to be. So today, so many families are more aware of the need, to look for help and not just sit down at the corner of their house just praying. The word of God says that faith without work is dead. And that is the thing that gladdens me, seeing families working together in unity, wanting to, in the proper way, in the right way, because there are some ways that are not right, looking for help and then seeking counsel. It's been so marvelous. A lot of people coming for counseling, and God has been so marvelous to us. I'm so excited. Okay. Super excited.
Fantastic. Well, Mrs. Dayo, you are a visionary, but you're also a recipient.
Yeah.
So give us your story.
Thank you, Uncle Soni, for having us again this year. Like every married, couple that after, getting married, they want to have their babies. And of course, God gave us an elongated honeymoon for 8 years. And of course, we enjoyed those moments.
I like the positive word, elongated honeymoon. Okay, good.
So we decided to do something as well. Of course, we went through IVF, and that was when we had our baby. And after then, God said, you have to encourage others if you have gone through this. And that was what bettered Parah Family Foundation.
Okay. And from what the president said, you people have, become a household name, I should say, because there have been testimonies to tell. And okay, maybe before I bring in Madam Isioma, who's another success story, let me bring in Mr. Yomi Ajide, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pronounce your last name again.
Ajide.
Ajide.
Yes.
So I got it 1-1 goal, let's draw straight. Okay, good. Let us hear your story.
Well, as the president, as the visionary said also, God gave us an elongated honeymoon.
Elongated.
But coincidentally, when we were trying to get pregnant, I was listening to a program like this. You were on the program. Then they were there like 4 years ago. Then they were talking about Parah Family Foundation. So they put down their number. After the program, I called the number. So they told me where to go. So I went and met them. So when I got there are options, because then we were just trying there. We don't know what to do. There are options. So we opted to go for the IVF. So they directed us to where to go. And then we went there. And then today we have our beautiful twins.
Twins?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Boy and girl or girl and girl?
Boy and girl.
Boy and girl.
Equation balance.
Oh my goodness. That's so nice. So nice. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring in Madam Mrs. Isioma Success Olugbenga. You are should I say, we have Wazobia, but your own is Wabia. Okay, so we just give you a microphone to use, and then you talk to us. Let's hear your story.
Okay. So yes, Parah has been an amazing success story in the last 365 days, and more than that, this year happens to be a time where we are celebrating a full circle. We'll talk about that later. But when I just look back and think about it, I have also been a beneficiary of the great work of Parah. Been also having an elongated honeymoon for about 5 years, and then coming to know Parah and having my own children has been a great success story that I share every day to everyone that cares to hear, not to just sit back and fold their hands and to seek support, because alone you can but just fight 1,000. But if you have other people joining you, people that have gone through your journey before, it makes it easier to go on the journey of trying to have children. And that way you can confidently, even when you feel like you have delays, you can confidently keep moving until you get to the finish line.
At least you don't worry for nothing.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Well, okay, Madam President, back to you. Parah. You see, the name Parah, you said, I think it was Division of Mrs. Odukoya, you said it was something that you all came up with.
Yes.
What is the meaning again? Look, I like going back and forth. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Parah is an Hebrew name. And
Hebrew.
Hebrew name.
Okay.
Hebrew name. And
Okay.
it's fertility.
Fruitfulness.
Fruitfulness.
Okay.
You can also say fertility, to be
Yeah.
fertile, to be fruitful.
Fruitful, yes.
That's the meaning of Parah.
That's what we call fruits of the womb. Eh?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, religion, you did a lot of spirituality just now in your first, you were talking a lot. And I was looking at you and I was saying, okay, but then this kind of a thing is also a matter of saying, I can pray, but I may not get the result. But somebody said to me, a medical doctor, in fact, he was here a moment ago, he had left now, Dr. Patrick Ijewere. He said, I may be a man who helps in treating ailments in people, but if I don't believe in the power of the good old God, then it's all in vain. So let's look at how the spiritual aspect and the worrying about it and family influences and friends, and can we encompass all of these things together? Maybe what I should do, let me ask Mr. Ajide, how did you manage your 5 years?
Well, 7 years.
7
years.
Mabino,
It wasn't easy, actually. It wasn't easy. The pressure from the society, the pressure from the family, all those things come together. But somehow we prayed, but God told us what to do.
Okay.
And one of the things is that He connected us to Parah. And when we got there, we found out that Parah had, they pray also, they also inculcate medical aspect of the whole thing. And then we were enlightened that, you see.
So it's a matter of saying, like, heaven helps those who help themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have prayed, but now let me go and see a doctor
Yes.
who might be able to narrow it down to what the concept. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So when we got there, they enlightened us, and then brought in specialists that came to talk to us. So while they are talking to us, we knew exactly what was the problem. And then they gave us the options that we can select from, maybe IVF, IUI, or adoption, all those things. So we now opted to go for the IVF.
Now, Mrs. Odukoya, people frown sometimes. So a woman will say, I would like to bear my own child that is from my own womb. Can you let me know, because this idea of adoption, when does it become a necessity?
Well, it's subjective, if I may say, and of course it depends on the couple as well.
Okay.
If there's an agreement, I think after you must have waited for like maybe 4 years, and of course you have to consider your age, because age is very key in the journey of fertility. Whether you are going for IVF or you are going for adoption. Even in adoption now, they decide the age of couples they give children to.
Wow.
So you have to take, the decision on time and then do what you have to do. So adoption, yes, is one of the options for treating or for parenthood, not for treating infertility now, because it's not a treatment. Is an option for parenthood. If you want to become a parent and then you have a delay, it's better and advisable to start looking at the option of adoption.
But some people adopt and then suddenly the woman becomes pregnant. How do you handle that?
Yeah, I think we have such in our midst as well. And I think what that does is to bring peace and tranquility into the home. Everybody there's happiness, the home is peaceful, and of course, when the home is peaceful, and that's one of the things we also preach in Parah, family life balance. You have to take care of the home, because when there's peace in the home, then the ambience will be okay to conceive. So
I remember one of those our writers those days said, listening to the patter of child's footsteps brings joy and music to the mother in the home, and of course extended to the father too.
Yeah.
So
Very
all right,
true.
yes. But then let me take a little commercial in another. Okay, I've just been told it's 4 minutes ahead. Good. I was going to ask Madam Success, family influence and how to cope with it. What's your advice, having gone through this kind of process before?
Okay. So thank God it's Father's Day today. So
Yes. Hey, of course.
it's so important. Fatherhood is so important in the equation of coping with pressures from family members and all. Men are very vital in shielding their wives, who sometimes or most times get vulnerable in that space. Because when in a family there's no child, the society that we live in at this moment always look at the woman. So the men, we call on them and we encourage them to shield their wives from all of those things. A woman is secured in the love of her husband the most, rather than any other. If anybody else is talking but her husband is in support, she feels more confident to go through this journey than when she doesn't have the support and the covering of her husband. And so it's important that on this day we encourage that a lot more men would be in support. And from even some of the little statistics we have, even in Parah, we see that a lot of families that have their the husband and the wife working together, they are able to withstand any kind of pressure that can come from either society or anybody else, and they have their successes come quickly, more than others that have those issues of not being worn together. And the society requires to also make sure that they do not stigmatize these people. Pressures from family members, it can really be very depressing for many people. Sometimes going to occasions and someone is asking you or praying for you unnecessarily when you have not requested those kind of prayers. Those things subtly put pressures on people, and they should actually be intentionally done in a way that they don't cause pressure for people waiting to have their children.
All right. Now, this is talking generally to any of you now, but please, we'll just take a message. Then when we come back, we'll now, get the whole process. But I want you to prepare your mind. You see, you talked about pressure, family influences, even friends too, people who like to interfere in family affairs and all of that. Let me ask you a question, all of you. Bear in mind, what advice would you give to people who are under this kind of pressure? Especially people whose background comes from how families depend on parents in the villages and all of those things. They say it's traditional to do this. I watch a lot of Igbo movies, and my goodness, man. And I remember my Benin family too, and I say, hey, Salobwa. Okay, all of which. But anyway, after the message, we'll take that question.
Inspiration FM.
Nigeria's #1 family radio station.
Hi, this is Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist and editor-in-chief of the Peak Performer Africa. In March 2023, we brought together and recognized some highly esteemed executives across Africa in what we called the Peak Performer 100 recognition. This June, we are set yet again to celebrate excellence, and this time we are bringing together 1,000 career and business women across Africa to the Peak Performing Woman of the Year 2023. I understand that any organization, industry, community, country, or continent that wants to consistently deliver excellence must constantly empower, engage, and recognize the sterling contribution of its women. That is why I am inviting you and every woman around you to join us for a time of inspiration, connection, and celebration at the Peak Performing Woman of the Year 2023 on Friday, 23rd June by 9 a.m. in Lagos, Nigeria. The event starts with a power-packed summit with some high-ranking women and men as faculty. There will be speed mentorship sessions, and also there will be a full exhibition ground where you will get mouth-watering offers from the brands that will be showcasing their products and services on that day. The crescendo will be a dinner and awards to celebrate women across the continent of Africa. For registration, exhibition, and sponsorship, visit www.thepeakperformer.africa/woman. See you there.
So, yes, that question, family interference. But let's look at it again. What advice would you give women who find themselves in this kind of situation? Let me start with Mrs. Isema. You. Now you are go first throw it at. Yes.
Okay. So the question is women who find themselves in this
situation. Because sometimes it becomes very difficult to even determine whether they will get pregnant at all. And there are those who have so many miscarriages. And they are always being called witches or this and that. There's so much interference from other sources.
Very true, sir. It's very important that, yes, we find our own support community, which is what Parah does. We have a support community that is very strong. And in those support communities, what happens is that you would find people that have been through what you are going through. And that way you are able to get strength. Walking alone on this journey is not something that anybody wants to do. It's so, you feel alone. You feel, a lot of people get depressed just walking alone. And so it's important to find a community of people that understand what you're going through. They've been through it. And, every day people go out of our support group meetings feeling lifted, feeling strengthened, women and men alike. And it's so important that we must not stay by ourselves. Women are known to work with community, to find their community. We should come out. We should stop being enclosed and feeling like we're alone. Nobody understands you. There is a community of people that you can be a part of and be encouraged on the journey.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ajide, what advice do you have for men who find themselves in such situation as to, you've been into it, and yes, thank God you have a good story to tell.
Yes.
But there are many other men out there who cannot even talk to protect their wives, as Mrs. Olubenga said.
Yes.
What's your advice to men?
Well, as they say, it takes two to tango. So I'll advise the men to bring their wives together. Most cases you find out that men also shy away from the situation. They feel it is a woman that has a problem. But medically we know now that there could be male factor and a female factor. So let two of them work together. Let the men champion the cause. Go for diagnosis. Join communities or foundations like Parah. And then you see that the time that they will spend waiting will be shortened, because all they need to know is, no matter what the negative medical diagnosis that have been given to them, there is always an option. So in places like Parah, they can know what to do exactly.
This is very interesting. There's always an option. That's a very key statement there. Well, let me ask Madam President again. Parah is now a foundation that everybody can rest on. What does work, you are a medical person, what does work have to do with men, women, especially women? Because I was discussing with, I hope she's in the Zoom group. I'm going to call her later. See, I was talking with somebody earlier, and she talked about the whole influence of too much work, exposure to work, many hours, worrying about work. And he said even those affect the human, the human woman or the human man. What do you have to say?
Yes, you are very right. That excess work or stress, I'll call it stress. Because there are different types of work.
Okay.
You can actually work and not be under stress. And it's not just the number of hours you put into work, but the strain the work puts on you. That really matters. And then if, as a family, one should be able to define, the thin line between home and work. So that when you are at home, you are rested and you are at home, don't carry work, home. So that there will be no strain. What we have discovered over the years...
Don't know if I agree with you, but...
But what we have discovered over the years in Parah Family Foundation is that there is an atmosphere that has to be created at home to make things work. Once the body is disorganized, once there is no peace at home, once there is no harmony at home, to conceive becomes a problem. And that is why it is very, very important, like Isioma said earlier, that a family, have that atmosphere that will bring their miracle. And one of the things also that I would want families to know concerning the issue of stress is that children are the heritage of the Lord. It's the Lord that gives children. By worrying, the Bible said that you cannot add a cubit to yourself. You cannot give yourself children, no matter how much you worry. But then agreeing together as a family to seek for help early and not, we discovered that so many people think of money. Money. And money does not really solve this problem. Actually, it's true that IVF is expensive, but we have seen people that decided to go for IVF and they had help, people coming to help them. And today they have testimony. So that
when you
issue,
say people coming to help, that means financially?
Yes, to support them financially.
Okay.
So because the reason why most people are thinking of working is to make money. But just making the money and being stressed may not give the baby that they want to have. So it is very, very important that they have peace, they are rested, their mind is organized, their home is, united, and then they trust God for their miracle, and definitely they will have it. It is a true saying.
Because of what you said about worrying, and I remember a good friend, is older than all of us, he said, if you worry, you die. Worry, you die. So why worry?
Why worry? You can pray and do something about your situation.
That's quite a good one, yeah?
Thank you.
All right, okay. I'm going to give people a chance now. The phones will be open for the phone lines on radio, the phone lines on Zoom, and so on and so forth, and of course the phone lines on WhatsApp. Well, who would like to talk from Zoom first? I usually give Zoom people a chance first and foremost. Zoom, anybody there? Should I call somebody now? Okay. I'm hearing myself. Yes, anybody in Zoom, speak. Okay. Now. Suddenly I'm hearing myself. Can you check the echo? Sorry about that. Yeah, I can still hear myself. There's a telephone call. Go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Soni Irabor.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you, sir?
Yeah. My name is Abel Onyebuchi.
Okay. Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Please, Soni Irabor, first of all, before I go to my topic, why I called you, please, are you Isha or Benin?
I'm Benin.
Okay. It's pretty settled because I and my wife used to argue about you a lot. My wife is an Asian woman.
I'm an Edo man.
Okay, sir. Because I was brought up in Epoma.
Oh, okay.
Part of you, I speak English very well with my children.
Fantastic.
So,
please go ahead.
Parah. I think I pronounced well as the woman pronounced it.
Yes.
So, which she said is an Igbo language.
Hebrew.
I'm an Igbo man.
Hebrew. Sir.
That is Igbo.
No, not Igbo.
Man.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sir?
It's Hebrew. Hebrew. Jewish. Not Igbo.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
So instead, the minister, I don't know why I have explained the meaning that she gave.
Fertility, fruitfulness.
Okay, so it means fruitful.
Yes.
Okay, because I was thinking that is it like that song they sang in church. I said, Agama, Hallelujah, Parah. That's Parah. Because I understand for the language, Parah.
Okay.
You need to carry something.
Okay.
You know, so that's what I thought. And coming to IVF.
Yes.
IVF is for only rich people, though. It's not for everybody.
But they have already said
I want you to prove me wrong.
Okay. Thank you very much.
IVF is not for a salary earner. It's for people that get their money in millions.
Okay.
So that's my take.
Okay, we'll give them a chance to respond to what you just said. Thank you very much. Okay. Right, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much for your call in. We know IVF is a little bit expensive. I'll just say a little bit expensive. But it is very, very important for us to know that we cannot have success except we start a journey. And no matter how much is to be spent on IVF, if you don't start with an investigation, know your body, and confirm that you actually need it, you would not spend the money. And the fact is that if you put your mind at it, God will definitely send help to you. And that is why we always tell families not to look at the cost of IVF.
Okay.
But rather start it. By the time they start, we have seen testimonies of families that had wanted to take an intervention that the Lord God send helps to. You know, God opens door. You know, once there is a will, there will definitely be a way. So when you are trusting God for the fruit of the womb, don't look at the costs. You know, the financial cost.
Well, but there are also options.
Yes, there are other options. Yes. There is IUI. You know,
what's IUI?
In IUI, what the medical personnel do is just to help the egg to fertilize the egg.
Okay.
That is all. They sperm to fertilize the egg. That is all they do. But in IVF, the egg is taken, and then the sperm is taken. It is fertilized outside the body and then introduced back into the womb of the woman. Okay. That is a difference between them. But the other one, maybe there is an obstruction, there's an hindrance, then the sperm is just introduced into the woman's womb so that the egg can be fertilized.
At this rate, I will be a doctor. Okay. Now, the people in Zoom, are you ready to speak now? Because I'll be getting some people. Yes, let somebody speak, or I'll just call a name and says, Tommy, is that Tommy Julia? And then there's Ohale Hundei, and there's Ibukun Olua. When those of you who are ready to speak, just go ahead, because I normally give you a chance, and I'm doing that now.
Recording stopped.
Recording stopped? No. Okay. Right. So, this is Soni Irabor live. There was a moment of silence just now. I'll continue my question and answer sessions. The Zoom is very filled up, but nobody is talking yet. I think they prefer to listen. And there's a Folabi. Feel free. Let's talk about some of these things. Okay, Mrs. Odukoya, the whole experience of having, fertilization in the human body. But let me take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Simon.
Yes, Simon. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the IVF of this issue of this girl in the child.
Can you be a bit more clear in your voice? Say that clearly, because hello, we're not hearing you too well. Say what you said slowly and clearly.
If a female is having maybe female children and they intend having a male child, does IVF have any solution?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think that is called sex selection. When you're going through IVF,
okay,
you have that discussion before you start the procedure with your hospital, and then of course they will select the sex while the procedure is, going through. And of course you just have to pay like an extra to have that done. Yes, you can select sex.
Okay. All right. Well, he asked his question and quickly dropped so that they don't catch him. But I hope the answer was granted. I hope you've enjoyed the answer, because that was a good one.
Yeah.
Because I'm beginning to think that medical world is wizardry, Abby, or is it witchcraft? Because there's so much that's available to us.
Yes.
That we're all feeling happy. And honestly, if somebody tells me, oh, there's every reason to be worried, no, I will never accept that. There's no reason to be worried when God has given us the opportunity, the privileges He has made available all the resources, including our brain, Anyway, since Mr. Jesus, you and I are the only men here, let us maximize our Father's Day. Because these women, anyway, we thank God, because without them, as Shakespeare would say, if there is no man born of woman, let him raise his hand. There's absolutely no man born of woman. Even if he's not born the normal way, some conception is also still done.
Yes.
But then, as a man, if you have somebody who is in your family and he tells you, look, see this woman, I've been having series of problems trying to convince her that my family is a good family. Then the woman tells me, no, your family produces all kinds of, there's no male. It's always women. That's what down and so women are the born. How will you react to that kind of thing?
Well, women are not a bad thing.
Yes, okay.
They are not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, and then there are ways you can do sex selection, as she has explained. So that solves the problem. You can go ahead and then select.
So what happens to the family or couple that has so many children? They're all girls or all boys.
That's not a problem. Before, it used to be a problem.
Okay.
But now there are women doing excellently well.
Yes, so in fact,
I have some women here. They are doing amazing things.
My eldest is a woman, and she rose to the peak.
Yes.
So we are always looking up to her.
Yes.
She's 14 years older than me. Can you imagine?
Wow.
But if you see her today, you believe that the woman is older than me. But anyway, I like that answer you gave, because it gives men. I had a discussion with some men who saw it on Facebook, and they said we're having that problem. I said they should take part in this program. I don't know if they have taken part or they will take part. But he said the worry they have is that, okay, one of them, there are two. One of them said he's very close to his mom. And the mom insisted that he had to marry from a particular area. Not just the village, or a particular area of the village. And he didn't know how to offend or not offend his mom. And he's thinking of doing just that. But his girlfriend is not even from that village at all. It's from the opposite direction of the map. His girlfriend is from Benue. And this man is from, down the road, Agbo. So, questions like that always. Who has any advice to give? You ladies. Okay, Mrs. Odukoya. What advice will you give such a man?
between the woman and the mother.
The mother, yes.
What I would say is everyone has their own space.
Okay.
The mother has her own space, and she needs to realize that. And then, of course, the woman also has, or the wife or the girlfriend.
No. The question is, it's not even the woman yet, too. It's the man and his mother. He doesn't want to offend his mother. And he believes he must not marry from another place where his love is. He must marry from a particular space in the village where his mother insists that he should marry from.
You pray about it, and of course, let the mother know that that is what God wants for him, or that is what he desires to have, and that she should just support him.
Okay. Well, Madam President, what do you have to say?
I believe if he knows that what he wants in a woman is in the woman, he should go ahead to marry her, and then let the mother know that it's a global village. The world is a global village. This is not the age and time where we begin to select, if one is from the east, the west, or the north. The most important thing is the connectivity, and that is what makes the home to balance. If he knows that the woman in question is someone that he can live his life with, the woman that believes in him, and he believes in her too, you just let the mother understand it, and I believe they will work it out. Yes,
I know you personally, so I'm not going to worry you too much.
The truth is that you know me too.
So, Mrs. Olugbenga, what's your comments on this?
Okay, so generally,
because your name here shows Isioma.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Olugbenga.
Yes. So, having situations of intertribal marriages and all, because when you look, we are very, as man being male and female, we are very short-sighted. Nobody knows the future really. And many people actually make decisions of marriage premised on people's opinion or people's decision for them, and then they get into marriage and they have issues like this. How are they going to go through that issue? How do they go through the challenges of marriage when you do not, it wasn't even with your consent, it wasn't with your heart that you married this person? How are you going to weather the challenges of marriage? Marriage is bigger than something someone will just decide for you, and because you don't want to offend the person, you step into that ship because you don't want to offend your mother. The truth is, yes, our parents have, most of them have very good reasons for some things they say. That's no doubt. But if it is just sentiments upon just because I am a part of this person, or I am from this place, I want you to marry from this place, then it's not sufficient to make a life decision about, because the life ahead of that marriage or that relationship is bigger than just somebody's decision. It comes with a lot. Marriage comes with a lot. People get married, they didn't plan to have delays in having children, and they do. And when it happens, you see that people just cannot stand it. They can't go through that, all the challenges that come with marriage, because they were not part of the decision of being married to that person, perhaps.
I was looking at you, just looking and saying to myself, I wonder how the husband must have felt the first day. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Okay, we lost it. Yeah. Let me throw it at you. You are the only man in the group now. What will be your reaction to what they just said?
Well, I hope the man is listening to me now.
Okay, I like that.
Because your mother is not going to live with you. If you, in the course of trying to solve your mother's problem, because it's like it's the one that she's more concerned about the whole thing. If you go and get more problem on the way, you are the one that will live with it, because your mother will not be there to help you with any problem you encounter in the course of trying to look for a male child. So my advice would be, stay with your wife. Groom those female children you have. And then no matter what the man can do, the woman can also do so.
Okay.
Same.
Now, what happens when a woman is not able to produce a child? The man now starts looking out for a woman who is likely to give him a child. That's one. Number two is a woman may not bring a son, and then the man looks for another woman who might be likely to give him a son. But the ultimate end of these two scenarios is that none of them is giving a child or a son. What do you have to say, Mr. Jide?
Well, I think this is all about ignorance. I think it's more about ignorance because there are women, you can't say women cannot bring a child. If you say, okay, what is the problem? What are the options available?
Yes.
You know, the IVF, the IUI, you know, even there is surrogacy too. All these things can help you to have your own children because it's all about having your own children, you know. And then that one that cannot have maybe male children or female children, you can do sex selection. You know, so all these things about education, enlightenment, and then you go around the problem and solve the problem.
Okay. Well, this is the first time they have so many people in the Zoom chambers and nobody is talking. I want to hear you people now. Erika Ogunsonwo, Olubukonla, yes, Temi Jiwayo, Titi Akintemi, and Patricia Garba. Okay, let me take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I disagree with all the people that have spoken that the man should make his selection by himself. You see, it is only your mother. I'm a man. I rely so much on my mother.
Okay.
It is only your mother that can design what will be good for you. So if you even go on your own to choose, that is fine. Your mother may still welcome the person. But whereby your mother steps in when you are still on the search and say, I would like you to choose from our village here. Your mother cannot direct you wrong now. So the whereby you go on your own and say, no, my mother is not going to live with me. It's only me and my wife that's going to live. You know, when your mother's spirit is not well with you, you are in trouble. Because you are married on your own, you have disobeyed her, and when your mother's spirit is not well with you, you are in trouble. Or your father's spirit is not, you didn't get their blessing, you are in trouble. Thank you, sir.
Can I ask you a question before you drop, sir?
And before, okay, sir.
Yes. What if the two, you know, the man and the woman, their parents are no longer alive?
That is a different thing, sir. There's nobody to interfere anymore.
Okay.
So that is a different. And again, what I want to ask two sides.
Yes.
It's very easy to get from a man's sperm. How do we extract woman's sperm?
Woman not get sperm, na egg then get.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's react to some of the things that have just been said by this gentleman.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. Yes, madam.
Yes, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
You see, marriage is an institution of God. God started it, and that is why it is very important. Before you go into marriage, you seek the face of God. Because except the Lord goes with you in the journey of marriage, you will make a shipwreck of it. It's not about the mother. It is true. We should, listen to the counsel of our parents, not just the mother, our parents.
Okay.
Because we have also been we have to advise our children in time past. But then the parents should not say, or the mother especially should not say, it has to be from a particular place. We have seen people that have been held bound because of this type of things. And the truth is that when this marriage starts, your mother will not be there. It is you and your wife.
Okay.
The Bible said that the two shall become one. And the man is supposed to leave his family and cleave to his wife. This is very, very important. Like Isioma said the other time, the man shields the woman. And when that shield is there, the woman is confident to bring out her best. So I want to advise, sir, from the sound of your voice, it looks like you are a matured man, you are married. But then if you have the cause of encouraging your children to get married, let them guide them, but don't choose for them.
Guide
them, but don't choose for them. Don't insist on your own will.
Okay. Mrs. Adukoy, have any comments?
They have said it all, really. I mean, it was just so.
Okay. So we'll take a short break before we go to conclude on the program. Yes.
No station does it better. Inspiration 92.3.
Hi, this is Dr. Abiola Salami, the world-class performance strategist and editor-in-chief of the Peak Performer Africa. In March 2023, we brought together and recognized some highly esteemed executives across Africa in what we called the Peak Performer 100 recognition. This June, we are set yet again to celebrate excellence. And this time, we are bringing together 1,000 career and business women across Africa to the Peak Performing Woman of the Year 2023. I understand that any organization, industry, community, country, or continent that wants to consistently deliver excellence must constantly empower, engage, and recognize the sterling contribution of its women. That is why I am inviting you and every woman around you to join us for a time of inspiration, connection, and celebration at the Peak Performing Woman of the Year 2023 on Friday, 23rd June by 9 a.m. in Lagos, Nigeria. The event starts with a power-packed summit with some high-ranking women and men as faculty. There will be speed mentorship sessions, and also there will be a full exhibition ground where you will get mouth-watering offers from the brands that will be showcasing their products and services on that day. The crescendo will be a dinner and awards to celebrate women across the continent of Africa. For registration, exhibition, and sponsorship, visit www.thepeakperformer.africa/woman. See you there.
Okay, so here we are, just about to conclude on the program. And you know what I love about this whole thing is the fact that we are talking to the world and the world is listening to us. And I'm so happy. And with so many people in the chambers, Zoom, I mean, and they're not saying anything, that means they're listening to the experts. Wow. Okay. Let's begin to think of how to round off this whole beautiful family topic. Bearing children, accepting your wife and accepting your husband, and then willingly saying that you are one person that would want to, make hay while the sun shines. Isn't that how we say it? Right. Okay. Me. Did I hear confession? Who is making confession? Okay. Yes. Any message? Yes. Let me hear.
Yeah. Okay. This year, we're having a conference coming up June 24th, and the theme is navigating through infertility in the 21st century.
Navigating through infertility
in the 21st century. Before now, I think in those days when couples do not have children, they will send, children from other families to come and stay with you.
Okay, yes.
But in this,
so they had a way of managing
infertility there. But now we're in the 21st century, and we've mentioned some of those options available for couples to take advantage of: IUI, IVF, adoptions, surrogacy, and the likes. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this year conference.
Where's the conference happening?
Oriental Hotels by 10 a.m.
10 a.m. 24th, you said?
24th, this week, Saturday.
Okay. All right. And for those of you who have testimonies to give, I just thank God. Oh God, thank you, Father. You gave me a chance. I have a boy and a girl, and I'm happy. And I have a wife who is dutiful and beautiful. So some of these things, there's some stories, and that's why I watch Nigerian movies a lot. Some stories are so heartbreaking, but sometimes we even debate, say, Kilo J, can it really be true? So question, really, one last question, and I want all of you to answer this. Is the Nigerian government doing enough for family? Who would like to start?
Yeah, one of the reasons we try to get the government involved in Parah Family Foundation conferences every year is because we need the government to be more involved.
Okay.
Like someone just said the other time, having to go through fertility treatment is expensive. Some of these things can be subsidized. You know, if the government...
For this whole talk about population reduction, what are you thinking?
You cannot reduce a population that is not existing.
Exactly.
If you don't have a child, you can't reduce it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I mean is that for those who want to,
yes,
for those who want to, at least we know we are not in the abroad, we are in Nigeria. In this country, our people cherish their children to have children. In fact, parents want grandchildren. So, and that is why we are saying that the government should come in to assist those that are looking for at least one. They may not, the government may not be involved.
China, for more than 10 years, restricted birth to one child per one family.
Okay, at least a family deserves to
Same
have
thing with
one.
West Germany those days. Yeah.
The family deserves to have at least one. So the government should be there to help to subsidize some of the treatment. And that is one of the things we have been looking forward to. Today, to the glory of God, we have some centers, some general hospitals that have started the treatment, you know, we have fertility treatment. But beyond that, if some of this family can be helped, the treatment is... And why is it very expensive? Because most of the things that is being used is imported. And with the exchange rate and everything, it's...
But don't we have Nigerian or herbs about medicine that helps? For example, there's Catholic hospital in Ewu that uses a lot of botanical, herbal, you know, medication.
How many of them?
We have in Lagos too.
Even in Lagos, how many of them do we have? And there are so many families. You know, last year we were talking of an epidemic. Infertility has... In an endemic, infertility has gone beyond just having one or two in an environment. We need so many to be able to tackle the problem of infertility.
Okay. All right. So I just want to thank you all. I've been signed off by my producer, said round off, it's time up. So, Mr. Yemi, or is it Yomi? Yomi
Yes.
Ajide.
Yes, sir.
You are the only man in the group. Blessed are you amongst women. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. And you really gave a good account. And I'm happy that you are today's Father's Day and you're a man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Madam Mrs. Isioma Success Olubega, the Wabia Madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. God bless you. And then, of course, the visionary, Princess Tayo Odukoya. I should say a big thank you.
Thank you for having us, sir.
By the way, she just did something and sent it to me and said, Soni Irabor Live, please don't forget us. I said, no, I can never forget you. Because the story is good and people are listening. And then, of course, Madam President, Jumoke Airoyo. Jumoke is Yoruba. Airoyo is Edo, Bini, you know, so that would be what? Walare. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you for having us, sir.
And for those, for those in the groups, the chambers, the Zoom, God bless you all. Those that called in, that listened on radio, God bless you all. Thank you again and God bless. Bye-bye now.
It's 3 o'clock.